Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Now celebrating 17 years of broadcasting success, here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again, both for our radio audience here in Mississippi at WYAD 94.1 FM and WYADonline.com. We're glad you all could be with us. Also, just tuning in to our online affiliates around the world, including our friends at iHeartRadio and Amazon Music Podcasts. Glad you all could be with us as well. We're excited to welcome actor Mike Manning to our program today. Mike is, I was just saying to him, is having a pretty good start to 2021. We'll talk to him about the acting journey that he's been a part of, but also the great roles he's been able to bring to life as well. Many people are buzzing about his role in Son of the South. We'll talk to him about that. But also what it's been like for him to be able to be a part of different types of projects throughout the years and to see the way that people have responded to that as well. If you guys are curious as to what he has coming up, of course, we'll let you know that too. But, Mike, thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate it.
Yes, Cyrus. Thanks for having me.
Hey, glad to do it. So let's begin where we are. As I said, 2021 is starting off really good. You're enjoying the buzz, of course, of Son of the South as well as other projects. What has it been like for you, Mike, to be able to do work that you love as an actor and to see that work being recognized?
Well, I'm so happy that Son of the South is being recognized on the way that it is. For me, the film, whenever I get to do what I love, it's a blessing for me. I've been in Los Angeles for almost 11 years now, and in the beginning I sort of had to take whatever role I could find just as I was building my resume as an actor, but now I'm to the point where I could be a bit pickier on the projects that I want to be a part of. And when I first found out about Son of the South, I read the script and I fell in love, and I'm so happy that I was able to be a part of it. The story is based on, essentially it's about the evolution of the civil rights movement in the Deep South in the 60s, but it's through the perspective of a college student that was sort of pulled into the civil rights movement. So it's a different perspective on stories that we've seen before about, Dr. Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks, and, John Lewis is another figure in the film. The late congressman who was also an activist for decades. So yeah, it was a really fun, deep, rich story to be a part of. We shot in Alabama at a lot of the same locations where a lot of these protests and walks and sit-ins actually happened, and the book itself also. I mean, it's a true story. So it was the first time that I was ever playing a character that was actually based on a real person. It was the first time that I was shooting something that took place in the 60s, so our wardrobe was kind of fun. So all around, it was a great experience. And to have somebody like Spike Lee, Oscar winner Spike Lee, with such a great track record of success in his own right, to have him attached to the project was also amazing.
Yeah. It was funny hearing you when you were talking just now about kind of slipping into this period, Mike. I thought about, too, that you've been able to slip into different types of characters, throughout your career, and even different roles. I mentioned, of course, people know you as an actor, but also you've been recognized, just as recently as last year for your work, even, as a producer, too. Do you think that you were just meant to create in some form, that creating was just something you were going to do in one form or another?
I really think I was. I really think at my core I'm a storyteller, and but it's not. I love telling stories and I love being a part of stories. My ego isn't going to say that I have to be in front of the camera for it to be a good story. In scripts that I've found. I'm sorry?
No, I didn't say anything.
Okay, so there have been scripts that I've found that that I thought were beautiful stories, that were really powerful stories, that that I had no place in that world as an actor, but I really wanted to see them made, so I would step into the shoes, like you said, as a producer, and I'm just as proud of those projects as I am projects where I've been able to act in front of the camera.
to whether we're talking about film or even, daytime television, to be able to garner different audiences along the way. Social media has kind of helped all of that to collide. What has that experience been like for you, Mike, to be recognized not only offline, but definitely the worldwide audience you built online too?
I think most recently I had a 6-month contract on Days of Our Lives, and it was the first time I had been a part of a soap. I was a part of an online show called The Bay, and that that's been a great experience for me. I actually won an Emmy last year as a producer on The Bay, and that was sort of a huge benchmark for me in my career. Most recently, being on Days of Our Lives, and my character essentially is still on Days of Our Lives. They're doing like a murder mystery to see who killed him off, so that's kind of fun to watch. But the fan base there has been so active, and I never realized how active soap fans were. And every single time that my character's on screen and he says something or he does something, or he has a kiss or a romance or whatever it is, the fans will take to Twitter or to Instagram or whatever to share their opinions. And luckily, most of the opinions so far have been towards me have been positive.
Yeah. Well, I think, again, that just goes to, what you've been able to build throughout your career, and also the connections you've been able to make as well. It's interesting. I think, the time that we're in right now, Mike, I think for creators, as we were talking about, like yourself, I mean, the main thing for you is being able to create. And like you mentioned, whether we're talking about a series like The Bay, and, of course, I saw that great photo you did with the Emmy before you went to change back into your T-shirt. But even, the other work you've been able to do, are you still having those wow moments at this point that in your career that you've been able to achieve so much?
Yeah, I honestly, every day that I'm able to get up and do what I love is a blessing for me, and I don't take that for granted. I did work very, very hard for this, but there are a lot of people that work very, very hard and aren't able to do some of the things I've been able to do. So I definitely don't take it for granted, and I definitely try to approach every new project that I do or every new script that I want to produce or every acting role that I take. I try to approach it with the same enthusiasm that I had almost 11 years ago when I moved out to Los Angeles trying to pursue this crazy dream. So and I honestly think that that's why people want to work with me, is that it's not fake. I'm not pretending to be nice. I'm not pretending to enjoy myself. I genuinely love people, and I love getting to know new people and to hear their stories and to be a part of these stories sometimes. And so it comes from a really real, genuine place, and I think that people can recognize that, and that's why they want to work with me.
And then, of course, to be able to know that you're doing work that you love and that other people love, I mean, it has to be a great feeling as well. I want to say for those who are just tuning in, either on the radio side or online, you're listening to Conversations Live. We're excited to welcome Mike Manning to our program today. Mike is talking with us about the year that's already being 2021, but also the things that have led up to it, the great things he's been able to do. One thing I like to talk to content creators about, Mike, is getting over the fear. I think so many times people, as you mentioned, they have this desire to do something, and a lot of times they believe they want to do something, but something either holds them back or they allow someone else to hold them back. What do you think has helped you to kind of get over the fear, or at least not to allow the fear to stop you?
Yeah, I think that people can become overwhelmed when they decide to do something new or uncomfortable for the first time. And for me, I've definitely had those moments. I would be lying if I said that I didn't have those moments where I look at something that I want to do or somebody that I want to work with. Or there was one time where I'd shot a movie. I had produced a movie called MFA, and our lead actress was Francesca Eastwood. And I've admired her father, Clint Eastwood, and his long career since I can remember. And he came to the premiere, and they were having dinner together. And so on one side, I'm sitting there talking, and on one side, there's Clint Eastwood. On the other side, there's Frances Fisher, who's an amazing actress in her own right. And I'm squeezing my knuckles underneath the table, thinking to myself, don't say anything stupid. Don't say anything stupid. And it's just, and it's, of course, like, there have been times in my career where I felt like, who am I? Why do I deserve this? Why, I don't feel like I have a seat at the table. But when those moments happen, I try to remind myself that success isn't an elevator. Success is a staircase. Success isn't something where you step in, you hit a button, and somebody does the work for you. You have to make the climb yourself, and it's step by step by step. And when I personally feel overwhelmed, sometimes I just remember that like I don't have to do it all at once. I don't have to tackle everything that I want to tackle today. Today, all I have to do is take one step, is climb one more stair, and eventually I'll get to where I want to be.
Yeah. You took me back there for a minute, Mike. I did not realize that you did MFA. I had my friend Michael Welsh on the show. I remember when that film came out, had him on the show to talk about it then. He was just joined us last week, actually, when we were celebrating our 10,000th guest. So it's so funny how things kind of click in. So, but I think the point you're making is such a great one for our audience too, because you never know. You never know what's going to come out of these opportunities. And I think, too, the best thing is to not have that regret. So as we kind of started off by talking about how 2021 started off for you, what are you looking forward to this year? What are some of the things our audience should be on the lookout for?
Fingers crossed, if everything goes well, I am going to be doing a movie this summer where I'm playing a boxer. So I've currently been working out and eating a ton. I'm trying to put on some muscle. So I'll be shooting that this summer, hopefully. And then there's a film that I produced that I'm in as well called Flatface, all one word. And that's a film, sort of a thriller horror film that we are set to release later on this year. So audiences can be on the lookout for that. That's one that I'm really proud of. And then, other than that, what the last year, what COVID has taught me and what I'm looking forward to in 2021 is just spending quality time with friends. I think that 2020 for a lot of people was very isolating and very cold and very, we were forced to spend time with ourselves and then be very picky in the people that we spent time with. And I will honestly say that it reminded me how much I value quality time, and it reminded me in terms of friends and my time to choose quality over quantity. When you're forced to only pick a handful of friends to see in over the course of an entire year, you learn really quickly who the people that you want in your life, who they are, and so that's something that I'm going to take with me into 2021 and throughout this year is to really kind of remember that and to really deepen the relationships that I have with the people that matter to me and that are really close to me, and really try to, continue like nurturing those relationships and spending that quality time.
Yeah. Well, I think that is a great reminder, I think, for all of us to do, but definitely gives us something to look forward to. Again, everyone, Mike Manning has been our guest. So, Mike, how can our audience stay connected with you?
Everywhere, it's Mike Manning. On Twitter, I think it's like Mike_Manning. On Instagram, it might be Mike C. Manning, just because somebody else already had the name. But if you just search, I'm the one with the check mark that says Mike Manning.
All right. Mike, congratulations to you again. Really glad to have you on the program today. And it goes without saying, you're welcome back here anytime. Cyrus,
it's such a talking to you, man. I appreciate it. And also, it's awesome that you talked to Michael Welch. He's such a great guy. So hopefully I'll be able to come back and talk to you about more projects in the future.
Hey, looking forward to that for sure. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. Now let's go make today amazing. Take care.